Sabah Nur, Apocalypse, a name that sends shivers down the spines of mutants and humans alike. He is the first mutant, a being of immense power and ambition, who has cast a long shadow over the X-Men universe for decades. Apocalypse is more than just a villain. He is a force of nature, an embodiment of survival of the fittest. His philosophy is brutal and unforgiving, believing that only the strong deserve to inherit the Earth. This makes him a formidable adversary for the X-Men, who fight for the peaceful coexistence of humans and mutants. His presence in any storyline signals a major threat, a potential extinction-level event for mutant kind and humanity. Apocalypse's impact on the X-Men mythos is undeniable, solidifying his place as one of the most iconic villains in comic book history. Born in ancient Egypt, Sabah Nur was abandoned as an infant due to his gray skin and blue lips. He was rescued by Baal, the leader of a band of desert nomads, who recognized the child's potential for power. Baal instilled in Sabah Nur the harsh law of survival of the fittest, a philosophy that would shape his destiny. Apocalypse possesses a vast array of powers, including superhuman strength, telekinesis, teleportation, and the ability to manipulate his own molecules. He is virtually immortal, having lived for millennia, and his body can adapt to any environment or threat. His powers make him a near unstoppable force, capable of single-handedly taking on entire teams of superheroes. He is also a master strategist and manipulator, often orchestrating elaborate schemes to achieve his goals. He has access to advanced technology from celestial ships, further enhancing his already formidable capabilities. Apocalypse is a threat on multiple levels, challenging the X-Men physically, strategically, and ideologically. One of Apocalypse's most significant storylines is the Age of Apocalypse, a dark alternate timeline where he has conquered North America. In this reality, Professor X is dead, Magneto leads the X-Men, and the world is a brutal, dystopian wasteland. The Age of Apocalypse showcased the terrifying extent of Apocalypse's power and the devastating consequences of his ideology. Another key storyline is the 12, where Apocalypse seeks to use 12 powerful mutants to ascend to godhood. This storyline demonstrated his manipulative nature as he uses and discards his followers to achieve his own ends. Throughout the X-Men comics, Apocalypse has been a recurring antagonist, constantly testing the limits of the team's strength and resolve. His presence forces the X-Men to confront difficult questions about survival, prejudice, and the nature of power. Apocalypse has made his presence felt beyond the pages of comic books, appearing in various animated series and live-action films. In X-Men, the animated series, he served as a recurring antagonist, showcasing his power and ruthlessness to a new generation of fans. He made his live-action debut in X-Men Apocalypse 2016, portrayed by Oscar Isaac. The film depicted his origins in ancient Egypt and his plans to remake the world in his image. While the film received mixed reviews, it brought Apocalypse to a wider audience. Apocalypse's appearances in film and television have introduced him to new audiences, expanding his reach beyond the realm of comic book fandom. His presence in these mediums has sparked discussions about his ideology, his role as a villain, and his impact on the X-Men universe. Apocalypse's impact on the X-Men series is undeniable. He has been a driving force behind some of the most memorable and impactful storylines, forcing the X-Men to confront their own beliefs and the complexities of the mutant-human relationship. His philosophy of survival of the fittest has served as a constant challenge to Professor X's dream of peaceful coexistence. Apocalypse's actions have often pushed the X-Men to their limits, testing their strength and resolve. His legacy extends beyond the X-Men, influencing other Marvel storylines and inspiring other villains. Apocalypse remains a relevant and compelling antagonist, constantly adapting and evolving to pose new threats to the X-Men and the world. Apocalypse is a villain who inspires fear and fascination in equal measure. His immense power, his ruthless philosophy, and his unrelenting pursuit of his goals make him a truly formidable adversary. He represents the darkest aspects of human nature, the willingness to sacrifice anything and anyone for power and survival. His appeal lies in his complexity. He is not simply a villain who wants to destroy the world. He genuinely believes that his actions are necessary for the betterment of mankind. This makes him a more nuanced and compelling antagonist, someone whose motivations are understandable, even if his methods are abhorrent. Apocalypse is a reminder that the greatest threats often come from within, from the darkest impulses of humanity. He is a villain who will continue to challenge and fascinate readers and viewers for years to come.